Welcome to a new episode of Vyapar, a show where we explore the journeys of entrepreneurs and the businesses that they've built. With me this week is Viren Roy and Govinda Malakar, who have co-founded the company called Mother Huts. The idea with Mother Huts is to deliver healthy and home cooked food at your doorstep. And I know what you're thinking, that food delivery business is oversaturated. That's what I thought too at first. But then I spoke to Viren and I fell in love with the business and the vision for the company. And what's interesting here is that both Viren and Govinda, they were operating Mother Huts while doing their full-time jobs while they were working at OLX. I remember Viren telling me how on some days, Govinda would have to make a delivery in person, or how Viren would have to work around the clock till 3 a.m. at days to make this a reality. So the grind and the sweat, it's all there. And if you're a budding entrepreneur, that's a key quality. That's something that you need to do. So Viren and Govinda, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to have you guys today.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thanks a lot, Siddharth. Thanks for having us.
And my first question to you is, I'm curious, how did you guys come up with the idea of starting Mother Huts? I mean, what were some pain points or some services that you guys wanted to address through this business?
Sure, man. Govinda and we were working for an organization back in 2019, and we met there itself. We weren't batchmates or we never knew each other from, our school time or our college time. It was the first time that we met. And, from the very beginning, we used to share a very, very healthy relationship. And our conversations always used to revolve around startups, business, money, entrepreneurship, and all of this. So we always had a habit of talking to each other and finding out, firstly figure out few problems, and then find out some solutions to it,
Hmm.
or maybe point out a problem that can be resolved in a better way, that can be streamlined. And similarly, one fine day, Govinda and I were sitting together, and there was a discussion going on amongst our colleagues itself, wherein, everybody was a little, they were talking that, how they really have to spend time, and, there should have been a provision of home food or something like that. And at that very moment, Govinda and I, in that very instance, we looked at each other and we told, this is something that we can start. कि हम ये कर सकते हैं कि एक कुक को हायर करेंगे, उसके घर पे ही खाना बनवाएंगे एंड कस्टमर को डिलीवर करेंगे.
Hmm.
तो हाँ, ऑन पेपर इट इज जस्ट अ वन लाइनर मॉडल कि अगर मैं बोलूँ कि हाँ, व्हाट वी आर डूइंग हियर इज यू आर हायरिंग अ कुक, यू आर आस्किंग हिम टू प्रिपेयर एंड देन यू आर डिलीवरिंग इट टू द कस्टमर. बट देयर इज अ लॉट of things that go behind the scenes. There is a lot that go on the back end part, because firstly, onboarding a cook is not easy. Secondly, operations and logistics and the delivery part seems easier, but when you really have to do the deliveries, it can be super crazy at times. So that was the first instance wherein we talked about it, that we had discussed it. We Govinda and I, we both discussed ki, this is something that we can work on, and then we went back to our work. But later that night, Govinda had reached out to me and he had texted me, that maybe the idea that we gave a thought in the morning, that is something that we can work on. And I was like, I am okay with it. Let us probably do a some sort of market research around it, and get to know if there is a viable startup option there or not, if there is any sort of traction there or not. And that is when we had a couple of meetings, or for about a month or so, we used to sit together after work and chalk down certain plans of how are we actually, how are we going to make money, what will be the expenses, and how are we going to create margins. And
Hmm.
all of this took us almost about 2 months or so in order to get to a final conclusion. Since there was a from the very beginning, I had this one thing that I'll be keeping it on a subscription model. I would not want to give it to the customers on a one day delivery or one time delivery model, because
Hmm.
that would make me very similar to what other platforms are doing. and to basically to promote home food, to promote people moving towards healthy diet, home food at cheaper rates and then easily available, it is better that we bring up a subscription model. Then obviously Govinda and I, we both had to figure out that what should be the number of meals, and what should be the subscription like, what should it be like.
Hmm.
And that took us about almost we started in November 1st, 2019, if you want to know the inception date. And you
Hmm.
can consider January 1st at as the date wherein we were we had finalized, okay, fine, this will be our subscription model, this will be the pricing, and this is our margin, these are the expenses and all of that. So this is a gist about how we started and what we were really. Govinda must have certain points from his end as well. So Mala, if you can share certain thoughts on from your point of view of how exactly things incepted, you can let Siddharth know about it.
Yeah, so most of the things Viren said, he has already covered everything. Speaking about the inception thing, we really had some points that had to be looked onto during the that period of November and December. So we were on one point, we had a lot of confusion was on the margin and
Hmm.
the house kitchen. And there was one thing, finding house kitchen is something which was very difficult. And then the second part was like how to convince that kitchen on a price that we are looking onto. And the thing I and Viren had in mind was that it should not be more. The subscription price should not be more, because if we increase the price, we would be landing on the same page as Zomato or Swiggy,
Yeah.
delivering the food at a very high price. So we had a margin on our mind, and then we had a price that has to be given to the HKs. So during the initial period, I remember we had Namrata, who is still there in our team. So I and Namrata used to visit in field. So the basic problem that I had was I can't speak Kannada, and at that moment of time, if finding a house kitchen means we have to find someone who, because they will be all locals, and so I need someone
Yeah.
who can speak. So Namrata really helped me at that point of time. Even she is from Mumbai, and she I think her mother or someone is from Karnataka, so she manages to speak a little bit of it. So somehow we used to visit houses, and then we used to explain them, okay, this is something like that, you'll have to cook, and all those things. We really had many issues at that point of time, because most of the mothers will be like, I have my own family, I'll have to cook for them. How will I manage this? How will I manage that? And
Hmm.
all those things. So we really faced those issues at the point.
So
But then at late, huh,
was it difficult to get cooks on board? Like how difficult was it to get them on board on the platform?
yeah, at that point of time it was difficult for us, because that what happened during the initial time, even we did not have much of the idea like how to pitch the people. I mean, how to pitch a woman on how to onboard her on the model, because
Hmm.
even we were a fresh startup at that point of time, and I didn't knew how to negotiate on that point. And
Hmm.
language barrier was obviously there. But then later I figured out, I actually had many HKs. I found someone from Nepal, someone from Bengal. Then I spoke with many people, and then I started gathering knowledge from them. Like, I used to see the feedback. I mean, what was the response of those HKs? And based on that, again I sat with Viren, with Namrata, and then we figured out, this is something we'll have to go on the other way. We'll have to
Hmm.
show them the positivity of it. And then later we found two people, one from Karnataka itself and one from Punjab. So they were ready. So then we found ki, okay, now I think this is something we can start on. So as soon as we got that HKs, we started our operation. We started finding customers, and
Hmm.
then it started at that point of. So that this
And
is how we started with the
and
HK.
and how did you guys ensure that the quality is there? I mean, how did you guys ensure quality control for every cook that joined Mother Huts?
Yeah. So at first, what we do is that if I am onboarding a cook, so I will be visiting the cook, and then I'll be having the food by myself. Or if at first, I think that Karnataka lady which I told, me,
Hmm.
Viren, and Navrata, we three of us went one day. We had food, and then we onboarded her. This is somewhere we look onto the kitchen of the HK, because that is something that we were focusing on. The kitchen should be hygiene, because we don't want
Yeah.
someone to get ill after eating our food. So that is something, the first thing we look onto. So the kitchen has to be very hygienic, and the family, of course, it matters. Once you enter a house, you will understand like how the family is and how hygiene they are, right?
Yeah.
And the second thing, if you enter the kitchen, that is something you will get to know everything about the family. So we do visit the kitchen, and then we try out the food. And after that, if a kitchen is onboarded, now so we have our salesperson who Imran is there, who is looking onto the sales and also looking onto the follow-up part. So we will be visiting the kitchen anytime. He will not tell the HK. He directly visit the HK, I mean the kitchen, and then he will look onto everything and just make sure if all the things that we are looking onto is okay or not. So that is how we are ensuring at the moment. Yeah, that is how we do. Because of COVID, it was little difficult for us at one point of time to do that as well. But now, as because in Bangalore everything has just got down, so there are
Yeah.
three places which we are working right now. So one place Imran is looking onto the HKs, one place I'll be looking. So I visit the kitchen that I have in my area. At any point of time, I'll be visiting, and then I'll see if everything is okay or not.
So it's like a surprise check at times.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh,
is
wow.
how we do.
So,
That's
from a broader point of view, being a baby startup, the best we could do from our end right now was to, continuously visiting the HKs and giving them surprise visits in order to check how the entire quality is maintained, or, how hygienic is the kitchen and how cleanliness is maintained. But on the other end, as the company grows, as the business grows, we'll obviously be looking to, get someone in our team who is a complete quality assurance guy or a girl who can pick up this particular thing from their end. Because see, today I have about 7 to 8 cooks in my team right now, and this is across the 3-4 locations that we deliver. And I'm pretty sure that if we have a conversation at the same time next year, I'm pretty sure that this number of cooks will definitely be into twice or into thrice, and the number of clusters that I'll be delivering in will also be at least twice. If I'm delivering 4 clusters right now, I'm targeting at least 10 to 12 clusters by this time next year. So looking at that, it will be difficult for 1 or 2% to or we as co-founders to typically go cluster to cluster and give those surprise visits. Something that we'll be looking forward to do is to get a person in the team who will be taking care of just the quality assurance part, the food quality, the hygiene, and the cleanliness system. He'll be doing all the quality checks before onboarding, and after onboarding also he'll be taking that continuous monthly or weekly visits to the HKs in order to keep them in check.
okay. All right. So it's all about, it's for the beginning, you guys are doing it, but then you have a plan to just delegate it to a specific department of
right.
quality assurance, which is more practical. Like once you guys
Correct.
scale up, that is
Yeah,
more practical to do. Let's say that I'm a customer who wants to buy lunch from Mother Huts. How do I do that? What are the pricing plans that you guys have right now? And what is it like? What is the benefit that the customer gets when they order from Mother Huts from a financial point of view as well?
all right. Okay, so I'll set an order to this question. Like you told, what are the benefits and that a customer can get out of it. I'll firstly give 3 problem statements here, and then I'll give a solution to it. So someone, according to the data, almost 50-55% of people staying in Bangalore are migrant. People from an age bracket of 17 to 30 or to 35 are the people that we are basically focusing on, are the basically people that we are targeting. That will be our target audience. Now, for people, for students who are in college, or they're staying in PGs, or they're staying out there, out in apartments with their friends, and etc., etc., or youngsters, freshers, or people that are below 30 staying alone, or with their partners, and in any of that, they do not really have any sort of time to cook by themselves, firstly. And obviously all these guys all these people are staying away from their hometowns, from their moms, basically. And the only solution to that is either you get a cook or you order it from outside on a daily basis, right? So
Yeah.
my first problem statement here would be the unhealthy diet that it is leading to, right? People have to order from outside, and it is a very basic human nature. I'll give you an example. Suppose you are to spend 150 rupees on a meal, right? And in 150 you can either get dal, sabji and roti, or you can get a McDonald's burger. The Indian human behavior, I don't know about other countries because I've never been there, but talking about India and talking about how we behave, we feel that if you're spending 150, I would rather have a burger instead of proper dal, roti, sabji, because that is anyhow I'm eating on a daily basis. So let me
Yeah.
have that cheat meal, and that one cheat meal becomes a habit once you start ordering from outside every day. ठीक है?
Hmm.
So it is leading to unhealthy diet, firstly. My second problem statement would be people tend to spend a lot of time in terms of deciding what to order and what not to order. For an example, when Gobinda and I were working together, and there were no North Indian cafes around our office. There was one cafe downstairs and we had to go there, and the food there was absolutely I would not say it was bad or it was good. It was enough to fill our stomachs. That's it. There was no basic taste in that, or I always fail to recognize what exactly this dish is, honestly speaking. And you can have it 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and eventually there is a saturation point wherein you decide, okay, man, I'll order from Zomato today. I feel like eating something nice. I'm going for Zomato, Swiggy, or any of the restaurants nearby. Or you probably, if it is a Saturday or if it is a Sunday or if it is a weekend, you will probably think of, आज तो बाहर जाके खाते हैं. So it is a very time consuming task, ठीक है? And if you're in a bunch of 4 or 5 people, it will be more time killing because everybody has a different opinion. So this is the second problem statement. Third problem statement would obviously be these particular meals or platforms are very expensive. The meals that these restaurants provide and the market platforms that people use for ordering these food, they are pretty expensive. A single meal will cost you about 150 to 250 for one person and a one-time meal. So, people who obviously earn well can think about it, but people who are, earning decent amount of money or less amount of money, it becomes difficult for them, to survive in in a state like, or in a city like Bangalore because it is expensive, no
Yeah.
doubt. Now, these were the three problem statements that we obviously had in our mind, Govinda and I had in our mind, and these were the three problem statements that we were looking to solve here. Now, firstly, solving the first statement, that was the unhealthy diet. Obviously, we are providing home food. Our agenda from the very beginning was to provide home food that is actually cooked by a mom, that is not cooked by a chef or a cloud kitchen or anywhere else. It is actually cooked by a mom. So there is that emotion, there is that actual sense of honesty there, that the food is actually coming from a from a home. That, so not just, and it is not about moms. We obviously have cooks that are guys as well. Even men cook
Yeah.
well as well. And I have, for an example, I have Manu is a Punjabi cook that we have with us, and he's a brilliant guy. He's been a part of us from the very beginning. I guess from January, February he's been there, so it is almost 8-9 months he's been a part of us. And I've never received any sort of negative feedback regarding this particular cook till date. So obviously home food is something that we're solving. Secondly, time, we are saving time here for people by providing them subscription. You just have to subscribe once, and then if you're subscribing to a 30 meals plan, you will obviously be you do not have to spend any more time until you complete those 30 meals, and then you can renew it. Or so, if you're taking a 30 meals plan, there will be a validity. I'll come to the validity point as well in my next topic. We are saving time. Obviously, subscription helps time. You do not have to go to the platform every day and think what to order, what not to order. We have a very basic menu that is decided. The menu doesn't say that Monday ko chole aayenge and Tuesday ko chane aayenge. ऐसा नहीं है. But there is a very basic menu that we always share with our HKs, and we tell them that rotate all these vegetables, rotate all these dishes. That rajma should be there, chana should be there. We tend to avoid lauki, kaddu, and karela types of sabjis because I know that a few people may shy away from it. But keeping the dishes very generic, a day-to-day dishes, people are pretty much okay with it. So that problem is solved, and obviously the expense part, we have come up with plans that are very nominal, that are very, when you compare it to other competitors or when you compare it to normal marketplace platforms, we are providing proper home food with proper, proper hygiene and all of it at a very minimal cost. It is a very, minimal cost. I'm not looking to charge very high to the people, and we have made sure that it falls under the bracket of each and every person who wants to, eat home food or is missing their mom or cannot go to their hometown often. Yeah.
It is sustainable. Like when you told me, I asked you this question when we were first speaking, and you told me that around 2,400 you can have a 30-day plan for a
Yeah.
one-time meal, which turns to I mean a 75 rupee per day for a meal, which
Mm.
is very reasonable and it is sustainable. Like because if you order from Zomato, Swiggy, first of all, I think it's not sustainable. You cannot, the food quality, it's very oily, it's very spicy, and you cannot eat from Zomato every day. And it's
Mm.
obviously it's very expensive. So I think what you guys are doing, it's giving the people a very sustainable way of eating home cooked meal, isn't it?
Right. Right.
So, Siddharth, I'll just add one point here. Viren has already told about everything. So, speaking about the price, I'll say you, if we are providing, let's say 30 days meal, 30 meals which you are saying. So, if you go for non-veg, we are giving at 97 rupees. We are giving you three rotis, we are giving you chicken curry, we are giving you rice, and then we are giving you a dal or maybe a sabji as well. And that will be 97 rupees. So I think getting
Wow.
something in 97 rupees in your home itself, sitting and enjoying on a weekend or even after you come from office, I don't think that is something which can't be afforded by someone working at that moment, right? We anyway spend up to 150, 160 having a meal. Even if you go outside, step outside in a restaurant and you ask for naan or chicken, you will be, of course, getting a bill of 200 rupees if I am not wrong,
Definitely.
right? Yeah, so that
Definitely.
is how we came up with. Price was something that we had in our mind from very first day. As I told you, that is why this was something which was difficult for us to onboard a kitchen, because we did not want to increase the price at the end customer point. So and at that point itself, we'll have to manage the house kitchen as well. We'll have to manage amount to survive to survive the startup, and then making the customer happy as well.
I mean, it's very sustainable, and even if you go to a normal restaurant, I think one thali costs around 100, 150 or something. So,
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're getting it at your doorstep. I don't think anyone could ask for anything more than that. For a 97 non-veg thali, I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. And one of the questions that came to me was, how are you differentiating yourself from the Zomato and Swiggy's of India? And I'd like your personal take on this. Like, why are those companies not making any money? What is it that they're doing wrong?
Yeah, see, I don't see if there is any wrong on their part as well. But Mala would be the right guy to anyhow answer this question. That a bootstrapped company has to make money, has to be profitable. Because if you're not profitable, we're not surviving. It is as simple as that. In the Indian startup culture and in the entrepreneur world, especially in India, things have pan out in a way that if a company is raising money or if a company is raising funds from any of the VCs or angel investors, only then that particular startup is recognized, only then that startup is considered to be successful actually. And
Correct.
I've seen this as a pattern over the years. From the past 2 or 3 years, I've been very intrigued into entrepreneurship. When I was in my third year in my engineering, that is the point where I really started, thinking of startups, reading about them, and getting really curious about this startup ecosystem and all of it. And since then, I've been following, a lot of startups, and I've seen this over the course of time that in India, this has become a pattern basically that, raise funds, you'll be successful, get an office, get a fancy office, get a number of employees to the team and XYZ. And so this is a pattern that is being followed. But when it comes to us, see, we from the very first day we knew that it will be very very difficult for us to raise any sort of money, because firstly we were freshers. Secondly, we do not come from a very strong background in terms of acads and in terms of family backgrounds as well. At least I do not come from that sort of background that I have a lot of financial backbone. So I knew that, I'll have to really take each and every step very carefully, each and every step very precisely to ensure that I'm not making a wrong move here. So whatever we have done, and at the end of the day, I'm a Delhi guy. From the very first day, I've been a जुगाड़ guy. मतलब मुझे सब जुगाड़ पे करना है. And
सही है.
I would not want to spend any extra penny on anything that increases our overall cash flow. I do not want to do that. So it was very important for us from the very first day to ensure that we make I'm not saying that you have to make a lot of margin. I'm not saying that you have to like make a lot of profit from one delivery, but there should be even if I'm making a 1 rupee margin at the end of the day, I am making profit. And if
Yeah.
I'm in that situation, at least I can carry on with my operations. And from an operational point of view, it will be Govinda who can help you understand better ki, how are we really dealing with the logistics? How are we really dealing with the procurement part, the boxes part? Because these all are expenses, and we have to ensure that, cutting all those expenses, we should be in profit, or we should be making enough money at the end of the day to probably scale up our business at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it is not that easy when you're bootstrapped. And even if you're breaking even, I think at the start, that's what is very important, to not lose money at least, and to
Yes.
at least make money in the beginning. So, yeah, I mean, I would be interested to know about the logistics. How does that work out? The delivery boys, the procurement, the raw materials and everything. How does that work out?
Uh, about the delivery part, we have started our delivery guy. We have that Manu, which Viren told, like the Punjabi guy. So the Punjabi guy's wife cooks the food and he delivers. So he was working as a
Oh.
delivery partner for us. So at initial point of time, not initial, at one location, still he delivers the food. So we have relocation right now where we are giving our operation. So at one location, the guy called Imran who looks onto the sales part, so he was delivering, and in one location I deliver myself, and in one location this guy Manu, he delivers. His wife cooks and he delivers the food. So that is how we were managing at a point. But now some 3-4 weeks back we have hired a delivery guy. So hiring delivery guy is something which was very difficult and is still a pain point for us, because what happened, I'll tell you. So Zomato, Swiggy, and Danzo and all those startups which we have right now are all funded, and I don't think they will be caring for money, as because they are funded, they can give any amount of money to the delivery boys, and they have set a very high bar for the delivery guys. Like if you, I'll just tell you, if you are asking any Zomato guy, he's earning some 60 or 70 rupees, I guess, at some point
Per
of time.
delivery.
Per delivery at a peak point. I
Wow.
was speaking to Zomato guys few days back because of these delivery issues. I started interacting with Zomato's, Dunzo, everyone, just to understand the point, like how are they managing and what is the amount that they are getting. So they told me ki at a point, if you are logging in the evening time, 7:30, if you log in, and if you work till 10 o'clock, you can earn up to 60, 65, 70 rupees per meal. That is how
Wow.
Zomato or other startups pay. So that is something which is not possible for us, because if you can only see, if we are giving 97 rupees meal, if I give 70 rupees to a Zomato guy, to a delivery
Yeah.
guy, what will I pay the house kitchen? What will I keep for myself? So this is
Yeah.
something which is a very difficult point for us. Like you said, you told these companies are not earning money. What is the issue? So if you are funded, you can do whatever you want to. But if you are not funded, you will obviously look for that break-even point. Right? I cannot go for loss at this point of time, and I will never go for that. So my basic calculation, what I do is ki, if I see that in this operation I will have to go in minus, I will not go for that operation. I'll never do that.
Yeah.
I will never step onto that part.
So you
Correct.
have to
Even
make
if
these
I am
smart
making one,
moves.
correct. Even if I am making 1 rupee, I'm okay. Even if I'm not making anything and it is on break-even point, I'm okay. But I don't want to go
Yeah.
below break-even point and lose a money. I'll not even lose a single rupee at that point of time. So that is how I plan for all the operation part. And speaking about the logistics, all those dabbas, so we don't deliver in plastic boxes. We deliver in dabbas. That steel box which we have, right? That 3
Oh
to 4
yeah.
tiffin. we deliver in that box. So each customer will be getting 2 dabbas, and then we will be just rotating the box every day. So that
Okay.
is the only logistic part which we have at the moment. And delivery, we are looking. I will be looking in my area by myself, and we have a delivery guy in one of the area. Somehow managed to get one. This is something that only a person has to deliver only in the lunch time or in the dinner time. So some half
Hmm.
an hour is enough for a guy. So we
Yeah.
are looking for people who are maybe working or maybe working in a hotel or somewhere, and they just go out for half an hour, deliver the food, earn a good amount of money on the day, and then just go on with their regular work. So that is how we are managing right now.
Yeah.
But that is something I'll say issue that we are facing at the current situation. A very big problem that we have, and I and Viren, we are looking on how to solve this problem because of other markets we are stuck in this point now.
I'm sure that you guys will figure something out because it's that's what's fun, right? I mean, when you're just
Correct.
building something, the process, the learning, the
Yeah,
difficulty, the challenges, it's so much fun, like just figuring out stuff.
yeah.
So I'm sure that you guys will figure it out. And my last question for you guys is, what's your vision for Mother Huts? I mean, like I told you before, I can't wait for you guys to get the ground running in Mumbai. So, what's the vision? What do you like? If you could paint a picture for us, 5 or 10 years down the line, what do you see yourself? Like, where is Mother Huts 5 years down the line?
5 years down the line, matlab, it is a little difficult to comment, since we never knew that COVID will be impacting the world. We never knew 5 years down the line this would be coming. But, I'll give you a picture of, I can, give you a vision, that we have in our mind is, firstly, I would want to capture, a decent, healthy amount of market in Bangalore. Bangalore is a very big city, and there are a lot of clusters that are yet to be covered. A lot of people, that are yet to be, informed, or they are just the people. A lot of people,
Hmm.
a lot of people do not know about us right now. I would want to reach out to all these people as soon as possible, as clearly, as loud as possible. Once Bangalore, we are operational across Bangalore, at least, we have decent number of subscriptions coming on a daily basis. Our customer base in Bangalore is good. I'd be looking at few other cities. We already have discussed, Govinda and I have discussed this, that we have few more cities on our radar, which we would want to, start our operations there as well, resume, kick off there.
Hmm.
Obviously, Pune, Bombay, Hyderabad, Chennai, all these cities are on our radar, and obviously NCR also.
Hmm.
But it is a very long journey. It is a very, very long journey. It will take a lot of time. I can give you uncalculated, unreasonable visions from my end that in 5 years I'll be all over India, or I'll have this many number of deliveries or this many number of customers. But it would not make sense. That is why it will not be right for me to comment on how where Mother Earth will be in 5 years. But I'm hoping that wherever we will be, it would be better than what we are today, right?
Yeah.
Because our competitor, our challenge, our goal is to be better than what we are today. I should be better tomorrow than what I was today, and that is what I'm looking forward to. At an organizational level, if you want to ask,
Hmm.
my vision is to build a product, bring more technology into this business, and help easen out, subscribing, or easen out logistics for my team, by introducing more of technology aspects to the company, making it easier for the customers to subscribe, to track their orders, and etc., etc. And at the same time, making it easier for my in-house team to keep a track of the entire business more efficiently. Our goal would be to expand our business, build a strong sales and business development team, build a strong operational team.
Just
So
improve day by day. Like, it's just
yeah,
just
yeah.
keep improving and keep learning every day, just moment from moment, and just see what happens. Like, not you have a macro goal that you've not painted that in your head, but you know that you want to just keep improving and just keep growing, like get better. So I think that's a great thing. Yeah, I think that's amazing.
See, So from a macro point of view, obviously I would want to deliver to as many people, get as many customers subscribe to home food, and bring that culture back, bring that Indian culture of eating home food and proper Indian cuisine into the market. That is obviously my goal from a macro point of view. From a micro point of view, it's like I told, cluster by cluster, customer by customer, try to increase it. If today I have almost, for example, if I have 20-25 customers, I would be targeting that, in another 2 months or another three, by next quarter, I would want to reach 40 or I would want to reach 50. So we have kept very small goals in the sense my goals are not small, but my steps that I'm taking,
Yeah.
I'm taking very micro steps, because every customer brings in money to the company. Every particular customer brings in that opportunity for us to scale more. So for me and for Govinda as well, every customer is a potential customer right now, and till the time I do not reach that, that target of initial 1,000 customers, every single customer would be very important, and it is the same after that as well. There will be no changes, but I would firstly want to settle down with that initial set of customers who that basically become a part of our family,
Yeah.
and they continuously subscribe with us. And see, when it comes to a F&B industry, when it comes to a food related companies, if 4 or 5 people like your food, 4 or 5 people like your product, they'll by themselves bring in another 2 or 3 people. So it is a word to
Definitely.
mouth. It is a word to mouth business. And if I, in a very short span of time, I've experienced this as well. And Govinda can comment on that as well. That there was a customer who came, and then eventually he brought 3 more customers to us. So
Wow.
one customer bringing in almost 3 customers is like a 2,000 guy bringing me another 6,000 rupees and creating an overall revenue of 8,000 rupees. So from that point of view, obviously it is very important for me to hold on to the customers that I have today, make them a part of our family, and then eventually expand with, every single day.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I hope you guys achieve the vision and, just grow day by day. Keep learning, keep growing the way that you are. And I had a blast talking to you guys, and I wish you all the best for this venture.
Thank you,
Sure,
Siddharth.
man. All the best to you as well for Vyapar and for your upcoming ventures. We wish you all the best. And we are hoping to probably we can get on another call, same time, same year, and we probably I can comment better on how many clusters have expanded, or how many or how many customers do I have now. So I'm hoping that things would be better, not just for us but for everybody out there, being talking about the situation. But I'm hoping for good days ahead, hoping for a lot more business. So, and same for you. All good wishes and good luck to you as well, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely. I am setting the date already. I'm noting it down in my calendar 1 year from now.
Yeah,
we're gonna have that call and it's gonna be amazing. Believe me. And dude,
sure,
I
man.
want you guys in Bombay. I mean, I'm a bit selfish here because I want to try Mother Hut. So, I am a bit selfish. I want you guys to succeed so that I can get a, boots on the
Uh,
ground research as well. So I hope that you guys grow just exponentially from here and all the best again. It was amazing
Thanks,
having you
man.
guys.
It will be a pleasure for us to deliver in Bombay, and not just to you but the entire Bantai Janta out there. So I would surely want to do that, because I know there is a lot of scope of market there. But fingers crossed, hoping for the best, working hard, and let us see where we end at the end.
All right, all right. So that does it for today's edition of Vyapar. If you're a home cook living in Bangalore looking to make some serious money, check out Mother Huts. Or if you're someone who craves for healthy and home cooked food, again, Mother Huts comes to the rescue. So Mother Huts is there for you. If you're living in Bangalore, you're a very lucky person. Try it out, and you can reach out to us. Let me know how you feel, how you like it. And also let me know what you think of the show. You can reach out to us at vyaparpodcast@gmail.com. We want to make this be a great learning experience, a great listening experience for you. So do let me know what you think. Take care, and we'll see you next week.